Hello everyone and welcome back to our little Lent podcast. I'm Dave and Shona is here as always, and today Shona is going to be thinking about something else to do with Lent that we can be chatting about as well. So Shona, what you got for us today?
Well, today, Dave, I'm going to be talking a bit about prayer, about praying, and how we can think about that at Lent. So we said before in our first podcast, I think, Dave, about Lent being a time where we prepare for Easter. Am I correct?
You are correct. That is exactly what we said.
And so if we think about preparing, sometimes if we prepare and we prepare well, it can make us better at something or even more confident with something. If I was to run for a race and not prepare for it, the likelihood is that I wouldn't do the best that I could if I had prepared. If I was going to start baking and I hadn't prepared for it, I may find that I don't have the ingredients I need to bake whatever it is I was planning to. Through Lent, we can prepare in different ways. It might be, like Dave said yesterday, about remembering. But today, we're going to talk about how we can prepare through prayer. Dave, would you mind reading the verses for us this morning?
Sure thing. So this is from Matthew chapter 7 and verses 7 and 8. And this is Jesus talking. And he says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened."
Thanks very much. Now, this is really quick. I've got a few things to say about the verses that Dave's just read for us. So in this passage, when I read it, it reminded me about the openness of God, that God actually wants us to come to him. He wants us to pray to him about all of our needs, to seek his will in all that we do, and to knock on the doors of heaven so that they can be open to us. And how better to prepare for Lent than to speak to the creator of all things on earth, than to speak to the one who knew what was going to happen all of those years ago. Now, I have some ideas for you about prayer and maybe how you could use prayer to help you prepare for Easter. So one is just about talking to God. You can say, "Dear God," or "Hi God," and just talk to him using your own words about absolutely anything. Another idea is that maybe you could go to a verse in the Bible and use that as your prayer. So, for example, the verse that we read today, I could talk to God and say, "God, I thank you so much that I can ask you for anything, that when I look for you, I can find you." Finally, another idea is that maybe you could write a letter to God and then you could take some time listening and maybe write down what you think God might be saying back to your prayer, or what you know that God will say because you've read about different situations or things in the Bible. So those are just a few ideas for you. And if you have any ideas that might help people pray as they prepare, then let me or let Dave know. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to hear about how you are preparing for Lent through prayer. And my question for you guys today is, how could you either by yourself or as a family prepare for Lent through prayer? How could you be really, really intentional? Can you carve out a bit of your time in the day to pray together as a family? Or maybe you could take some time for yourself each day to pray as well. So that's my question for you.
Amazing. How can we prepare during Lent? By praying. Great question. And I hope you enjoy talking about it and thinking about it. And even more than that, I hope you're able to put into practice whatever it is that you decide together. We will be back tomorrow for another episode of our podcast. But for now, bye-bye.
Bye.